So hi guys, I'm back. These videos are gonna start being like a reoccurring thing now. But I'm back and I'm really excited for this one. So I got this idea because I listen to too many podcasts. I listen to it at work, I listen to it at home, I listen to it 24/7, and I've been listening to a lot of admissions podcasts because as you guys can see, I'm obsessed with this whole admissions process because my whole YouTube channel is dedicated to that. Yeah. But in my second video, I believe, I mentioned the Yale Admissions Podcast. And I really love this podcast because it has so much information and some very valuable information. And that has actually helped me so much in this whole process. And the reason I'm making this video is because I know some of you guys do not listen to podcasts, and that's okay. You don't have to listen to things you don't want to listen to, but I'm making this video as a way to kind of tell you what I've learned and what I've heard in a very concise, straight to the point manner, so you won't have to listen to a 40-minute podcast. Even though I do suggest you listen to it because there's so much information and it's quite an experience to just listen to the whole thing. So I suggest you go to their podcast, listen to it because it's very helpful. But I did listen to it at work, and while I was listening to it at work, I took notes in this notepad. And I didn't just do this for Yale, I did this for Dartmouth, UChicago. There's this podcast called Inside the Admissions Office, and they interview past admissions officers from all of these top colleges. And I've listened to those podcasts, and I've taken notes. So I'm going to do that in another video. I'm going to make a Dartmouth-specific video. I'm going to make a UChicago-specific video, and so on and so on. And then if you want to go to those top schools, that might help you because I'm basically giving you the inside information. So, like I said, let's start! Yay! So, you guys are gonna see me looking down majority of the time, so get used to that. And if I go in and out of focus, sorry, this is a new setup, so. Okay, the first thing, what stands out from digesting what they said, the main thing they want is an assortment of students. They don't want a student that fits a specific mold. They don't want the straight A student who has a nonprofit, wrote a book, because there's probably going to be a bunch of those. They want an assortment of students. They want variety, diversity, if you will. They've talked about this in many of the podcasts. Yale has said, there's not a formula on how to get into Yale. They care, like I said, they have a holistic evaluation. So they care about you as a whole, right? What do they look for? So this is what I wrote down because they had an episode dedicated to this. So they look for people who can add the most to the Yale experience and take the most from the Yale experience. So if you're just someone who's just applying on a whim and you don't really have, the academics or whatever, and you can't gain anything from the Yale experience, then you're probably not gonna get accepted. But that's what they said. Also, they like uniqueness, but not fake uniqueness. They want you to be different. They want you to stand out as yourself. They don't want you to pretend to be someone else. So they can kind of tell, that's what they said. They can kind of tell if you're just trying to be fake or if you're trying to feign uniqueness. So they want you to be unique in yourself. And even if you think you're not unique, you're probably unique. Everyone's different. No one's the same. There's probably something about you that can stand out amongst other people. So be yourself and be unique. They also want someone who likes to play well with others because they're a very collaborative college and not as competitive. So you need to be okay with working with others on different projects, talking to others, being able to work well in a community of people who want to work together. That's kind of why I think Yale kind of stands out from the other Ivy Leagues, because I feel like they've said that throughout their whole podcast, like, you need to work well with others. They care about collaborative people. They want someone who's going to be a good roommate. They want someone who's going to work well with others. So I think that's kind of what makes it stand out in a way. They want someone who has an ambition for... They want someone who has ambition for initiatives. I don't know why that took me a minute to process, but they want you to be passionate about starting something new or passionate about making a change. So if that's not you, then probably not the best college for you to apply to, but they want someone who's willing to take that step, take the initiative to make a change in the world or a change in society. They also want someone who has a good approach to undergraduate learning. So what I remember is that they don't want you to just come into Yale and say, I just want to do this and stay on that path. They want you to be open to learning other things, open to trying other programs, open to doing stuff that's outside your intended major. You know, they don't want someone who's like, oh, I'm just here to study computer science and that's it. I'm just going to take computer science classes. I'm not going to join any other clubs. I'm just going to do computer science. No, they want you to venture out of your major and interest. They want you to be a person who has variety, you know. And they want someone who cares about making an impact. I think this is one of the most important, like I said, with initiative. You need to want to make an impact in your community, in your school, in your environment. If you believe that you've made an impact in any of those things, even in your family, I believe that Yale would like that. They want someone who has real, genuine academic passion. So, for example, if you're into environmental science, I don't know, you need to have like a passion in it, not just like saying, oh, I just want to join it for... That's probably not an example. Okay, let's say you're really into computer science, you've loved computers since you were a kid, you used to take little coding classes when you were in middle school, and you've always had a passion. They want that. They don't want you just picking computer science because, oh, it makes the most money. No, they want you to have passion, and they can see that for your supplemental essays. They want you to be a person that can find happiness through what they're learning. They also care what you've done with your leadership positions. I remember they also said in a podcast that they get a lot of people saying, oh, I'm the founder of this club. They see founder a lot. So if you're a founder of a club, make sure you highlight your position in the club than just starting the club, because being a founder means nothing if your club is nothing when you leave. So they want someone whose leadership position means something, even if it's just a small position. If you've helped them come up with this idea or start this new tradition, anything that shows you doing something that matters in the school community or in the school. Like, people think, oh, if you're president of this many clubs, like, oh, you probably are going to get into a good college, but college just cares that you're in charge of that many clubs. And colleges care what you do with that presidency. If you start new initiatives in your school, if you start a new tradition, these things matter, not just a title. Okay, they also talk about who should apply. So, these are, if you can say yes to any of these, then you should apply to Yale. 1, they want someone who has a strong understanding of English. They get a lot of international applicants, and they love international applicants, but they want you to have a strong understanding of English, because they say you probably won't thrive at Yale if you don't have a strong understanding of English. And they look for someone who has strong academic strength. So if you're taking the most rigorous courses that's offered at your high school, if you have good grades, Yale doesn't really have a specific GPA, I don't believe, because I don't think they released their GPA. They're in the common data sets, but they look for strong applicants, And they also look for someone who has academic integrity, and this is very important. They don't want someone who got in trouble for cheating on tests and getting in trouble. Like, that's like a hard no. They said, no, we do not want anyone who does not have integrity, because that's something they stand for, integrity. They don't want cheaters at their school. And they look for someone who has an interest in a liberal arts education, and that's true. Yale is more liberal arts oriented. Yes, they're more liberal arts oriented. They actually care about liberal arts. They care about the arts. It's essentially kind of a liberal arts school, even though they do have research aspects. So if you don't care about a liberal arts education, then maybe you shouldn't apply to Yale. So this is part 1 of my Yale video. I will probably make a part 2, because the Yale admissions podcast this is like after listening to, I think there's 2 of the episodes, but I've listened to almost all of them. So I'm going to make a part 2, but thank you so much for listening. I'm going to be coming out with one for Dartmouth, I think, next. So thank you so much for watching. I love you guys so much, and thank you for coming with me on my journey.